So good morning. Welcome to the next installment of our webinar series. And this installment is going to be based on social media strategies. And it's presented by the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. My name is Casey Whitmarsh. I'm on the board for the for the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a local business owner in Lorton, Virginia. And I'd like to welcome you back, and I'm hoping you see value in what we're able to help do for and present for our community. So today we're going to be talking about social media strategies. The social media strategies, especially during the current crisis that's taken place, has really kind of made a new norm out of marketing, whereas we have to now tap into a virtual realm that maybe people weren't familiar with. So what this webinar series or this particular webinar episode is really just to kind of go over certain strategies that you can do to start implementing your social media marketing. We're just going to go over some basic things, kind of touch base into a couple of different realms, and that kind of leads us to our agenda. We're really just going to be talking about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, touch base on consistency and compliance. And we'll go over a couple of different factors that are part of each one of those. So first is going to be Facebook. So Facebook is, your audience is typically all ages. It's probably your most balanced and diverse platform than you to actually kind of market on. It works great with holidays. It gives you the chance to be more personable, which we'll touch base on in a second. And it's definitely the most popular platform for businesses. And the reason why is because a lot of people use it. So when it comes to Facebook, so Facebook, everything really starts with you. And I say this in the sense of your business is you, your business starts with you, but Facebook also starts with you. So one of the things that I didn't realize when I was establishing my business was that in order for me to have an actual Facebook page, I had to create an actual Facebook account for myself. The way Facebook works is that you have to have, you are the primary, and then your business kind of stems from you, and then that gives you the ability to post on your business's Facebook page. And then on top of that, you can assign other people to do that, which we'll probably go over in later chapters as far as further developing the usefulness of certain platforms, certain venues. But one of the biggest things that Facebook does is, I'd have to say, based on my experience, Facebook gives you your biggest audience. A lot of people use it. A lot of people, especially during this time, are all over Facebook. So you're really doing yourself a great disservice for your business by not taking advantage of all of the opportunities. So, and I'll give you an example. At the end of the day, when it comes to your location, or just having people come into your place, you know, the norm and the good standards is to introduce yourself, talk to them, and see how you could help them, build a rapport with them, get to know them. Well, with the current environment, as far as virtual marketing goes, you really don't have that opportunity to do so. So how can people get to know you? And that kind of goes back with being more personable. With my particular business, there's a lot of stuff that I can put out there that is corporate driven. And you definitely notice it when you see the difference between my normal posts and then the corporate driven posts. Um, and those are good. Those are good to really kind of highlight what you can potentially do in a business realm for your particular industry. But what really I've seen the most traction on are the posts that I do that are more personable in nature. One of the things that my office is doing to help support local businesses right now is Takeout Tuesday. So, and I have seen immense traction on Takeout Tuesday. where I'm just really ordering lunch. I mean, it gets to be that simple. People just like to see that you are a real human being, and Facebook is definitely the best venue for that, because you can put up posts, you can make them lengthy, you can make them short, you can put in pictures, you can put in videos. There's a lot of different aspects to it, and there's a wide variety of how you can position yourself within your marketplace. And you can take advantage of that. And then one of the things that we went over in our last webinar series, which is on the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce's website for review if you want to see what we went over in our last webinar episode. But one of the things that we talked about is increasing your sphere of influence. Well, Facebook has Facebook pages and Facebook groups that you could actually join and follow. We're going to go over a little bit more detail on the consistency tab of our agenda on what you can be doing to kind of further advance your Facebook sphere of influence. But understand, one of the things that'll be a very common topic whenever we're doing our webinar series, especially when it's revolving around networking and marketing yourself, is really the concept of a sphere of influence. As I mentioned in our last episode, if you could, have one customer, and you have that one customer, and you can actually sell to that one customer, and you can take care of them, and you make them happy, all right? What is that one customer going to be able to provide you? Unless they are a huge component to your business and actually able to bring in a lot of income, that one person is typically not going to do it for you. What you want, though, is that those 4, 5, 20, you want their sphere of influence. And that's what virtual networking does. It allows you to kind of start expanding out into the community, and then it's not just that one person. It's now that one person's friends and family. So, which we'll once again go over in a bit. Next is going to be going over Twitter. So your typical audience for Twitter, based on my experience, has been typically more younger adults. Responds best to entertainment. A lot of stuff up there is just kind of short and sweet. That the usage of hashtags is really key on that one. What you really want to do is maybe identify a hashtag that would work out well for your business, because you can also search yourself on there. One of the things that I learned the hard way is that after you post something on Twitter, it's not modifiable. Okay, so make sure you spell check. Any of the other platforms will allow you to go back in and correct any typos, or maybe make a recant on maybe something that you maybe were just a tad jumping the gun on. However, Twitter is a very brutal platform when you post on it, but it is definitely a great venue of putting those short and sweet things up on there. Now, one of the things I will tell you about Twitter is, so Facebook, the one of the benefits of Facebook is those typically linger. Those have a lingering aspect to it. There's a lot of information that goes out there, and it really depends on how many people your recipient is following. Twitter, it doesn't really matter. Twitter has a huge database. There's a bunch of algorithms that kick in. You have things that you might like, things that you follow, people that are posting up stuff, and there's really a sea of posts when it comes to Twitter. So it's really important that you're using it often. And it's really just short stuff, whether it be just putting up a picture of something, or putting up a small post, or commenting on somebody else's. I mean, pretty much all the platforms allow you to share something. In Twitter's realm, retweet it, and then you can retweet it with a comment. Now, one of the things that I like to do is when I tweet something, I actually like to put my name in it at the end. And the reason for that is because on your tracking mechanism within Twitter, there's a mention tab, and it allows you to actually see everything that you're mentioned in. And the reason why is because if you save enough space to just put your name in there, just throw it down there at the end, right before the hashtags. what you're going to be able to do is track what you're doing and also what you're actually going to be, what's working, what's where you're getting your best responses, where are you getting the best activity to help boost your business, because that's really what this whole thing is about. Is social media is really, just to put it quaintly and bluntly, it's a necessary evil. All right, regardless of your fondness of social media or not, or how you interact with it on a personal level, once again, it's like shutting the door to a customer that's potentially wanting to come into your place of business or do business with you. So you have to develop a solid strategy for social media, and it's even more apparent right now because of the quarantining, and albeit hopefully at some point it ends sooner rather than later. But the biggest issue is it's always going to stay relevant. So no matter just understand what you invest in your virtual marketing now is going to reap like a multitude of rewards in the future, because of the fact that you're developing your systems and processes now, and you want to take advantage of when everybody is online. So next is going to be our LinkedIn. LinkedIn, your audience is typically professionals. It's not just for ads. You promote what you can do for others. Always be professional. So whereas Twitter, you could put silly posts up. I remember one time when I went to place to get coffee. They asked, it was kind of comical, but I had my jacket on for my industry, and they asked if I can make my name Jake, and I loved it, and I posted it, and I had great traction on that. I didn't put something like that up on LinkedIn. LinkedIn I've typically found to be in a bit more professional environment. Um, but you do want to do what you're doing for others. And that's really important, because one of the areas that LinkedIn is actually also helpful for is building your business. There are a lot of resources out there. And more so about business development within the LinkedIn platform. A lot of people will post stuff up of self-help guides, things that you could be doing. There's been plenty of articles about the PPP loans and how you can do certain things, be a better boss, hire better people, that kind of stuff. So LinkedIn is a great place to actually use as a resource, but it's also a place that these people are going to want to go to potentially find you as their next employer. So it's a huge way to actually network and build up your relationships, your sphere of influences within the history. There's a lot of businesses out there that have kind of a symbiotic relationship with other types of businesses. So you can build up a great network there. Next is going to be about consistency. All right, I'm going to tell you, consistency is absolutely the number one word to describe social media, because if you are not new, you are no longer relevant. Okay, so the reason why that's really important is because you want to definitely follow trends, you want to definitely stick with them. Following up on weekly posts, which I'm going to get to in a second, which actually goes over the always be increasing your following. Jump on every opportunity to strengthen your presence and tag other people. So consistency, understand, this is the fact of being consistent. What you're doing is you're constantly putting up posts. Now the question is, what are you as a business owner, what's your logic, your return on investment for putting these posts up constantly? Well, the answer is not necessarily what you think it is. A lot of people assume that you're constantly putting up posts for people to get to know you. And that definitely is a huge bonus to it, and that follows suit with what I was saying earlier. However, as a business owner, what we want is to be increasing our followers. We want to be putting up stuff on a regular basis that constantly makes people want to like, that item. And especially with Facebook, you then can invite them to join your page, to follow your page. And ultimately, that's what you want. You want them to consistently, you want to be consistently increasing your followers, because once again, as you increase your followers, there's going to be your sphere of influence is going to be constantly growing, constantly developing, and the whole purpose of that is to constantly have people reaching out to you as a source for whatever you can provide them as a business. So keep that in mind when you're posting stuff, and that's why I said earlier, personable things work a little bit better than corporate-driven items, because people want to they will like your pet, they will like that you're going to go out to eat at a local restaurant. They will like certain things, but they might not like the corporate side of what you're putting up there. But there's a lot of but those, they all work together. It's a great symbiotic relationship on that. But always, and I can't stress this enough, always, rule number one, you should always send an invite for them to follow your page. That is number one, okay? Because like I said, as your sphere of influence grows, hopefully the objective is to grow your business. So next is going to be going on compliance. And I bring this up because it's very important. It's really, actually, it's extremely important that if you're a franchise or you have a certain industry guidelines, you do your research prior to posting because of compliance. So if you're an independent owner, you kind of work for yourself, you're not representing any particular brand name other than the amazing business that you can provide your customers, you can kind of do what you want to. However, understand what you're posting, and we very well might be doing a compliance episode in the future, just to kind of have a better understanding of how that works. And we're definitely open to any questions that somebody might have in particular. But my particular stuff, my company makes it so I can't really even put up anything that's copywritten. So for example, if I want to, it's Super Bowl, and I want to say, who are you rooting for? I want to have that personable post. Who are you rooting for the Super Bowl? I can't, because Super Bowl is copywritten, and I could have issues with my compliance if I put something like that up. I would have to cater it more to, what's your favorite snack food? What's your favorite, what kind of, wings are you getting on your chicken wings this weekend? I mean, what kind of sauce are you getting on your chicken wings this weekend? Because that is more compliance as opposed to what I really want to post. But once again, I want to post something. So I would much rather put something out there that maybe not be the exact thing I wanted to say, but still something. Because as I mentioned earlier, if you're not new, you're not relevant. And you really want to stay relevant in the virtual world. And that kind of goes back to ask for help. A lot of people, I'll tell you, I'll be the first one to admit, I have been in my industry now for 20 years, and I have always been a workaholic. I've never really dived into the social media area. So when I set up my business and I said, okay, well, I knew I had to develop my social media. Uh, they I reached out to Facebook, and Facebook's like, no, you have to have a personal account. Well, I don't want a personal account. I don't need a personal account. I'm working, taking care of people, doing everything I can on that realm. I don't really need a Facebook page. And they're like, no, you do, because it's a requirement. You have to have that in order to subset into your business page. So in terms of ignorant as to how it works, I was definitely somebody that was ignorant as to how it worked. But I educated myself. I reached out to resources. I asked for help, and I was able to take, the lack of knowledge on social media and develop into something that I've found great success with. Um, and that kind of goes back to, we are presenting it. I'm on the board. The South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce is it offers certain certain benefits to being part of the membership by setting up a landing page. So if you don't have a website, by being a member, you would actually have a marketing land page. By being a member, you would actually have the access to the mobile web app. You can create your own text messaging service as far as your own incoming text messaging service. Depending on on the level of membership, you actually also have access to somebody that would be able to help boost your social media. One of the biggest things that I did, in fact, when I set up my business, literally 2 days later, I joined the chamber. And the reason for that is because my strategy for developing my business was to be part of a network, to have a grassroots, and because I was just joining the Lorton area, I didn't have those connections. My sphere of influence was very small. Now it's much bigger because of the connections that I've made by joining the chamber, and doing things within my community. So, but the benefits of being part of a membership will allow you to actually, especially if this is a realm that you're not too savvy on, you'll be able to get help. Not to mention, there's some multitude of resources out there, and we're always happy to do that. And that's kind of reason why you're part of a networking group, is really just to network. So from there, I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions, if there's anything you'd like me to go over in more detail. Okay, so I have a question. What platform should you start with if you're just starting out on social media? Well, I have found greater value in Facebook than anything else. Um, Twitter allows me to hit a different demographic. LinkedIn allows me to hit a different sphere of influence. However, I found the most value in Facebook. Now, I want you to understand there's another thing, and this is probably a whole webinar in itself, and that's just the algorithms that take place when it comes to putting your name out within the community. Every area that you're posting increases your social media, your internet presence, and that's a whole different algorithm. So you notice how whenever you Google something and your name, the business that you're looking for, those top ones, those are the people that actually have a developed social media or internet presence, and they're constantly putting stuff up there. So even though I might not have anywhere near as many likes on my Twitter than I do my Facebook, but the those Twitter posts adds diversity to that presence. So when people do a search for, my particular business in Lorton, okay, I'll be on that top list. I'll be on the first page, as opposed to being on the second or third page, which regrettably most people seldomly go to the third page. It's very rare. So I have another question. How do we pick the people we tag? Well, it's very, very easy. First of all, share posts with the people that you're tagging in there. So make sure that when you're posting something, you're tagging the business. If you're doing something like what we do as far as Takeout Tuesday, I do my best. If they have a Facebook account, I tag them within my post. And then this way it pops up on their side, because once again, I want them to reshare it and then potentially have people coming back into my Facebook page to increase my follower base. But as far as picking the people, just you pick the people that are on the pictures, or pick the people that you're talking about, but never miss an opportunity to tag somebody. Should you seek their permission before doing so? I would. I mean, that one personally, if I don't see anything bad with what I'm putting on there, and if it's something that I think would be beneficial for their business. I mean, a lot of the stuff from my particular industry is very compliance driven, so mine are usually more generic and more optimism, positivity, and that kind of stuff. So I have a tendency of just putting people I would put people in there that I know would benefit from me sharing them and tagging them. So, but you want to play that by ear, depending on uh, what your business does. So that kind of goes back to the other post as well, just doing the research based on what your industry requires or your business or franchising agreement and that kind of stuff. Uh, how often should we post on Facebook and LinkedIn? Um, so Facebook and LinkedIn, I would say putting a post at least every 2-3 days. Well, LinkedIn, little sparingly. Um, little sparingly. I found LinkedIn, it's more along the lines of when you have something that's good and of value, send it up there. Facebook, put it up. In fact, if you can, I wouldn't put up several things during a day, because then people will start avoiding your stuff. But especially if you're putting up personable stuff, something that'll make somebody smile or laugh or sometimes cry, doing it every few days or every day, every other day, it helps great traction to your Facebook page. Um, uh, Twitter, Twitters are short and sweet. So if you look at something and it makes you smile, all right, you pick up a potato chip and it looks like your favorite actor, okay, put it up there. That's the kind of stuff that really kind of skyrockets on Twitter. Um, so I have another question. Do I have to hire someone to do social media for me? So the answer to that is really kind of diving into what you want to do. Um, the downside of it is a business that's starting out, the ROI on having somebody that's specifically doing social media is very low. Until you build up your follower database and you actually have stuff. But really, um, based on the size and the type of business that you do, it's really not necessary. I will tell you, you can actually do a lot of stuff yourself, and then you can use your sphere of influences to help piggyback off of stuff. Joining Facebook groups, joining the chamber, for example. Like I said, I'm actually part of the chamber. One of my options that I opted into allows them to actually take my post and send it out. Okay, and then they'll share it and they'll repost it. And what that does is that allows me to have access to the chamber sphere of influence. Same thing with any other particular industry. I will share their stuff and then I expect them to kind of hopefully share it outwards. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can definitely develop your stuff on your own, but it does take a village sometimes to advance it. What is the best way to get new followers? Best way to get new followers is to be you. I mean, I can't stress this enough. I've seen more traction with personable stuff because people want to get to know you. People want to know that you like to do rock climbing, or people want to, because then you're going to get people that follow you just to see your action or your activities. People want to see your cute animal, cute pet that you have at home. As far as the antics that take place there. They want to see the type of customers that you have that come in. So if you have somebody that actually gives you a raving review, definitely ask them to put it up online. I mean, I, I've told my team, I said, I know you're taking care of somebody, but make sure they know that you're taking care of them. Because at the end of the day, you want them to give you that recognition and then take it another level and ask them to put a review up. Reviews are crucial, especially, I mean, I can guarantee you the people that are on here, all right, and the people that are watching this video afterwards, I can assure you that you have gone online when you wanted to do business with somebody and you looked at their reviews, whether it be Facebook reviews or Google reviews, you look at their reviews. So if you're doing it, so are your customers. Make sure people are looking at what you're doing online, which also includes developing a review process. Is it okay to repost other people's posts and from professional sources? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, if it falls in line with the message you're trying to share, then by all means, there's, I mean, that's the double-edged sword of the virtual media or social media, is that you can really say the message that you want to say and share everybody else's message if it falls in line. Um, Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but still social media. What type of posts do I make? And are there ads for my business? Uh, okay, I have some ads that come out through my corporate area, but what I post more than anything else is I have my Meme Monday, where we put up a meme just to make people smile because it's Monday. Okay, I have a Takeout Tuesday currently. I put a post up to recognize and thank our nurses for a National Nurse Day that took place yesterday. So these are the type of things that I have more value in putting up than the um, call me for XYZ. But I do put in the call me for XYZ because as much as I want to make people smile and make people laugh, as a business owner, I want to grow my business. So I definitely still want to make sure people I'm not just a comic website, okay? I want to make sure that they know that I'm still here to help them grow my business and take care of our um, policy orders and such. All right. I am actually an agent, an insurance agent in Virginia, and once again, because this is a webinar that I'm hosting on my side, um, for goodness, once again, because I'm hosting this on behalf of the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce, then I my company is very compliance driven. So you are definitely welcome to Google search my name up in the participants area. I will put my name in here because it's not on my slide for some odd reason. Let's see. Wonderful. See, we have somebody inside here that run the Lorton Station Town Center Facebook page. Share the details, and that really that's kind of that's the core of social media. But I would definitely send something over to you, and that's me. So wonderful. I think we've hit we try to make our webinars. If anybody has any additional questions, please feel free to ask. We do our best to make sure. Um, oh, I have one more question. How do I define social media success? That's defined by a few different ways. First, if I increase my social media presence, I want to show up on the top of the Google, search that's done on my particular industry in this area. So if a Google search puts me on that first page, I see value in making sure my social media, my search engine optimization stuff is working. Second, by increasing my followers. If I'm putting solid stuff up that people like to see, your follower base will increase. And then third is by growing my business. We track every single person that comes into the office and how they heard about us. And I will say a fair amount is they found us online. The problem is you can't really define ROI specifically unless you have a specific link. There's some things that you can actually do link tracking, but in terms of generically speaking, if you ask every single person that comes into your business and you actually um, you actually put up a tracking mechanism to actually save how everybody came in, and you're able to see how everything came in, what you're going to end up being able to do is connect the dots backwards. And anybody, and personally, if anybody says they found me online, it's I attribute it to my social media presence. So because it's all working together to build up my search engine optimization. I hope that answers the question. Yes, this webinar will be available later. What we've been doing is putting up all of our webinars on the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce website. So please, as I mentioned on the screen, definitely please like us on there in terms of following us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Not only will you have access to the webinars that we'll be putting up, but you'll be able to see what future webinars we're doing and other great things that we're able to do for our community, but also what your neighbors are doing. And one of the things that I explained is last week in our webinar is it's a give and take relationship. Okay, if you want people to like and follow you, you should like and follow them. it really works. It's really that simple. I mean, just it's the golden rule. Treat others as you wish they treat you. Okay, so once again, I want to thank everybody for attending. I would love to kind of be the first to put this out here, but we have a big announcement for the South Fairfax Chamber of Commerce that's going to be coming out on May 15th. So definitely follow us so you can be up to date on that. And I'm excited to have hosted another great webinar. I hope everybody saw value in it. And if you need anything, all of our contact information is on that screen. You're more than welcome to take a picture of it, reach out to us, let us know if you need anything. Understand the chamber is here for you. This is why we're doing these series. So just understand that I always tell my people that I can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on. So definitely tell us what's going on so we can be there to help you. So thank you again for showing up. We really appreciate it. And may 2020 be a prosperous year for you. Thank you. Oh, and bring a friend next time.